So I looked at my game history and it kind of doesn't make sense. So last week I beat someone who was rated 1320 ELO in rapid chess. And then the next day I lost to someone who's rated 1260. And then I beat a 1310. I lost to a 1270. Some rating change, completely different results. And it's difficult to explain, honestly. And I know there's the tilt and there's just different things that come into account here. But I've noticed it's not really openings because I play the same openings. It's not tactics usually. I'm not suddenly getting worse at calculating. I think I'm just kind of about the same. So something is changing between games, and I want to see if I can try to figure out what that is. So I'm going to be playing a 10-minute rapid game, and I'm just going to go ahead and play just like I've been playing and see if I could pay attention to what is happening in this game. Okay, so here we go. All right, now let's see if should I take away from the queen. Let's take this way just so that he doesn't trade queens and then I can't castle, that kind of fun stuff. So I'm playing against the Scotch game, and I've played this opening before. And so, okay, let's just go ahead and line up like a very basic counterattack. Yeah, so this is fine. All right, so let's just continue to develop our pieces and not try anything too crazy. I like this square right now just because simply if he does want to develop his bishop, let's just say there, I can, come over here. I don't want to pre-move that though, just in case. All right, I'm thinking about, do I want to trade? Let's just do this first. That way I can castle. And so at this point, I haven't done anything super crazy. I can't really castle long because I've opened this up. I could, but I'm not going to. It's probably not very wise to do that. So now that we've kind of done our opening and we're in the Scotch game, now it's about paying attention and just seeing like it comes down to tactics. It comes down to visibility. Somebody on my recent video posted and said, I think one reason that one of the biggest differences between a 1300 player and a 1400 player is vision of the board. And I would agree with that because I think when you can see the board really, really well, like for me, if I'm playing and I have lots and lots of time, I can usually find a pretty good move. But the first move, maybe even the second move that I see is rarely the best move. And sometimes I'll miss like a really open tactic. And, at this point, it's like, it's about, time. And usually, like, for example, in the last game, I had pinned, let's just say, for example, I had this piece can't actually take, right? Because it's pinned to the king because of my bishop. But I still didn't even think that I could just go ahead and take a piece when there wasn't a pawn here. So that kind of stuff, usually it's just like a matter of being able to see it, right away. So I'm going to go ahead and castle, and I'm considering putting my bishop here, little Fien Kedowij, and then I would potentially drop here. And I say drop, push my bishop there. That way I can push this pawn, and that way I'm looking at this square, and then maybe I can move here and then look at something like this. So as of right now, that's kind of a plan I have in place. So Sappho's R7N is playing nice and slow, like in a good way, I do think there is a lot of merit to being able to play slow like this. I think it's a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. And the question is now, do I want to put my bishop here? Do I want to drop my bishop back? if I drop my bishop back, then when I put my pawn here, I might be blocking my own bishop in. So I'm just going to go ahead and move my bishop here. Well, that move does change things. Let's do this first, okay? And now I want to consider and remember what are the different things I've learned. Okay, so right now I need to pay attention to what is Safas RN7 doing. What is his plan, or her plan? Maybe it's to he's just trying to develop at this point. I mean, honestly, a really good move. Well, not a really good move, but maybe an idea is putting the queen here, doing something like this, because then I'd have to trade, and then he's attacking my knight. So I don't know, things like that. If he moves his knight, then I can attack this pawn. And now I'm not even so sure I want to open this guy up right now because, well, maybe I do. Maybe that move just kind of proved that I do want to do that. So let me think about this just for a second. Even if I push right here, this pawn's blocking, right? This pawn's wide open, but this rook ain't going anywhere. I don't think so. Another idea is this. Because I've got 1, 2, 3. He's got 1, 2, 3. So if takes, I could probably win a piece here. Problem is if I push and then he takes, then I can't. I'm kind of trapping my own pawn in. So maybe before I do that, I'll prepare this move. And yeah, and if he pushes this pawn, then for right now, I'll just move this out of the way. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this. Well, yeah, let's do this. All right. Okay. Okay, so now before I move, I need to consider, do I want to do this? Because if that, and then takes, I'm going to have this. So I could do that. I could go here, which threatens to take this pawn. Not really, because of the queen. So let's just move here. No checks, no threats, no captures. Yeah, so now he needs to move his bishop. He's going to move his bishop here, or he's going to move his bishop here. I'm not exactly sure what he's going to do. Okay, so moves him back. Alright, I'm going to continue to push here because this brings in another defender. So now he's got 1, 2, 3, and I've got 1, 2, 3 as well. So I'm actually thinking about, do I want to put, if I continue to push pawns, I don't want to push this one. Obviously, I will blunder my queen. If I push this one, he's going to come here, which attacks my rook. But then I could just make this move, which is not a bad move, probably. So that's an idea. Yeah, at this point, it looks like if nothing really happens here in a few moments, there's probably a good chance I'll win on time, Another idea is this. So what if I go queen here? Queen can park here just for a second. I push here, which attacks this knight, and then he either has to figure out something to move, well, if I go here, and then he takes here, I take, he takes, I can't take back, and then actually he's threatening a check. So maybe actually before I even think about that idea, maybe I need to bring my other rook into the game. So I don't know if this is a lesson necessarily, but one thing I have learned is, okay, I see the trickery. I see the trickery, right? I take, he takes, and that would be bad. What about, but now he removed this guy, so now actually, if I go here, he could technically come here, but then I could come here, so I'm not trapped. So let's just do this. Let's go ahead and make this move. And I still have two pieces. I mean, he has to move right now or take. He could take, but if he takes, I take. And then he can't take back. So he's actually kind of got himself in a little bit of a predicament. Predicamente, that's what I would say. He's also got 3 minutes, so we'll have to figure out. Okay, so that was kind of the move I was expecting. And I honestly don't think that's really a bad move. So long as I don't get trapped, right? So if I come here, before I make this move, if I move there, he has this and then this, right? So actually, maybe moving, but I don't want to move here because then his bishop is x-raying my queen, and then if he gave me a check, which he can't actually give me a check right now, so maybe another idea is just simply coming right here, and now this, I mean, this still protects the square. I might actually, my next move, I just want to kick out his, knight, and he'll have to go here. So even though I have this like almost like mate idea, I'm really hesitant to move this pawn up right now because that opens this diagonal for his bishop. And in that regard, I feel like this is actually a better move. You know what I mean? But if I push here, I mean, he could just move right here. And this is not a threat because now he's actually threatening me. Okay. So he did bring in another defender. I'm going to go ahead and bring in this guy first. I don't know if this is the right move. Maybe this is passive, Maybe it's too passive. Oh, man, that was a good move. Do you guys see what just happened? Now he can play this move, and which is a check. And then when I go like right this, he can play this. Stinky. Okay. What are some ideas here? Okay. The only place that is safe for my queen right now is there a counterattack? Not really, is there? So the only place that's safe for my queen is dropping my queen back. So I drop my queen back. He gives me a check. I move my king here. He goes queen here. I go pawn here. He plays queen down. I can't move my pawn up, so I won't do that. All right, let's try this again. Queen here. Check. King here. And then this move. And then I can get my knight over here, and then when he gives me a check, I move my queen up or my king up. That's what I'm gonna have to do. So, and now is this even the right move? Is this the best move? Because is my queen in danger? This is yet to be seen. So, let's see if he plays it how I calculated. This is danger zone for sure. The danger zone. All right. So that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. And now I technically could move here. And then if he takes, I take back, really exposing my queen. I could come up here, and now if he takes, I take back with my queen. Okay. Okay, all right, I have to move here. Because this is also mate. And now this protects this. So, sheesh. Now it's going to be takes, takes, takes. And we're in muy caliente territory. And really one of the only plays that I see right now. Yeah. And I actually don't have to take here. I could push the pawn. I push the pawn. He takes. I lose a rook. I move here. He has to deal with check. He moves his queen up. That doesn't seem good. Let's do this. So he's not threatening mate currently. He's going to take this pawn, or is he going to come down here? I know he's trying to figure out how he can actually just, you know, if he takes my pawn right now with his rook, I can't capture back. I'll have to move like here. He has 59 seconds though. So y'all, this is down to the wire. Back to my opening intro of this video, where I'm trying to figure out where did I go wrong, is that I just overlooked this check that he had right here, right? That was what it all came down to. All right. I don't know if that was the best move, because now he's got to move his queen. Oh, he's going to move his queen here. Oh, that's mate. That's mate. Oh, man, yeah. Okay, so two checks. He gave me two checks that I did not even see coming, because I was just kind of fixated on my own plan, right? Yeah, I appreciate. I'm gonna review this, and if you're not into reviewing, just be sure to subscribe, follow along, and I'm gonna review this, and we are going to answer the question of why do we stay at 1300? Why can I not get better? He very clearly outplayed me, 88% accuracy to my 73% accuracy. And I didn't have misses. I had two mistakes, but I had a blunder. I had a nasty little blunder, and you could see it right around here on this little thing. So let's review. Let's go ahead and look through this and just check it out. So again, Scotch game. We've played the Scotch. These are book things. Everything to this point, that was not good. It did not like that move. It wanted me instead to bring my knight around. Now at this point, we're almost kind of even. I'm actually technically up by 0.15. This is a good move. This is a bad move. So now it actually has me up by almost a point in terms of the analysis bar. That was a good move. That was good. That was good. And now I'm even up by more. I'm up by like 1.5 points in the analysis bar. So somewhere that was good too. Now that was clearly a mistake, but that was also a mistake. My best move was to kick out the bishop. Really? This was my best move? Interesting, because then this, and then this, and then this. Okay, because then I feel like what he would have done is this, and then this, and then I imagine they actually would have probably gone back to save their bishop. Okay, so I'm winning two pieces for a rook. So I didn't see that. All right, so this is like a deep tactic, right? So let's look at this one more time. So over here, let's actually back up just a little bit more. So right here, I made this move. This would work at like a lower level, right? You guys, like at a lower level, somebody had just been like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'm going to make some other random move. And then, I go like, no, they wouldn't have done that. Let's see. At a lower level, maybe a move like, well, that probably was going to happen regardless, huh? So when I come back here, and then from this point on, let's just say, they took and I take. And they're not going to take back because it's protected. And so, but if he does, and I go here, now I'm looking at a potential little battery situation where it's like I can kick him out. All right, this, then this, and then, this, and then this. Or, yeah, something different. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm getting too deep in. But you see, like, this was a bad move. That was just clearly a bad move for me. So back to reality. That was a great move. And this was my blunder. Notice from here, I'm up half a point, 0.6. And when I moved that, I didn't see this tactic. Bam, bam, and then that, which led to mate eventually. So this move will cost you a queen, it says, which it didn't cost me a queen. It cost me the game. And here I was still fixated on this. So I was still thinking about ways I could get in there. And it just, at the end of the day, it was just a bad plan. And I just missed what I should have done, which was this. And then if that, then this, and then that. Oh, man, that would have been such a great move. Bro. Well, yeah, of course I would trade right there. So my rook move was the demise. That was my worst move. Look at that. Puts me down 4 points. So this was simply a missed tactic where they say look for checks. This isn't a check. This is a check. Well, that's not a check either. It's like check in 2. I just didn't see it. I will see it now. But now I'm down 4 points. That was a mistake. It actually says I should have just sacked my queen. That. But then what about this? What about just that? Oh, I see. Yeah. Man, whatever. So, at the end of the day, that was also a bad move. I should have gone... Well, that doesn't make any sense to me. I should have gone here. Here, how about my queen? Would you like to have my queen? Because then I take... Yeah, I don't even get why his queen would go up there at that point. Not with not with a minute 53 seconds. That makes no sense. The engine is confusing, but man, that was mate. And this was my second miss, is that I pre-calculated exactly all of this. This. Didn't calculate this. It's always the pawns. It's always the pawns for me that I'm always constantly missing. But it's okay. I'm not upset. Only a little bit upset, but not big upset. Because I'm still close to 1300 and we're still climbing. We're learning, and this is it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for following along, and I hope you'll watch as I continue to grow in my journey. And until then, I will see you next episode.